Hello, everybody. My name is Tom Slaughter. I am part of the FFCC Board of Directors, and I typically judge both in WGI, DCI, marching band circuits all around the country. And it's my pleasure to go through with you today the individual visual sheet that we'll be using this year in the FFCC Outdoor series of shows. The individual visual sheet is definitely a little different than the others in that it has a lot to do with how your performers are trained, has a lot to do with how they have understood and developed some of the concepts that you've been teaching them from the beginning in regards to visual performance and so on. And so it's a very unique opportunity for your students to get direct feedback on what they're doing and how they're doing. And I know your field techs appreciate the caption being adjudicated well, because it definitely gives credibility to the work that they do every day with your students. So let's kind of go through the sheet from top to bottom. I'll just kind of explain the terms from top to bottom for you to help you kind of maybe kind of interpret what the scores is or the commentary that you get at the various shows this fall. Just like all the other sheets, the individual visual sheet is broken into a subcaptions that are what and how. Vocabulary is the what subcaption on the sheet. Achievement is the how. So when you look at the sheet itself, you're seeing a vocabulary with a list of points of comparison that are going to be kind of evaluated within the what category of what the students are being asked to do. And the achievement box also has points of comparison, bullets on what the students really are being evaluated on how they're fulfilling what you give them. Obviously, a broader range of vocabulary presents a broader opportunity for achievement by the students. Fulfillment of that broader range of vocabulary is definitely a necessity for that achievement reward to come with it. So there's definitely a symbiotic relationship between vocabulary and achievement, but we do break it down and the judges evaluate each subcaption independently before arriving at your final number. So when we look at the vocabulary subcaption, specifically form, body, and equipment are part of the vocabulary choices that the designer has here. Form responsibilities, shape of the bodies, how the performers handle their responsibilities with their instruments or their color guard equipment or what have you. That's really kind of the overall aspect of what the designer has as tools to deal with when developing the vocabulary on the field. The range and variety of responsibilities, as we talked about a second ago, the broader range, the more opportunity for achievement. But as designers and choreographers, we have to be careful that we don't extend that past what they can achieve, because then a broader range can actually probably be a bit detrimental. If you give your students so much that they can't achieve, then neither caption is going to really be rewarded very well. So you kind of have to, as you're training your students, kind of gauge what level has an opportunity to be successful for them, and develop your range and variety of responsibilities that way. Environmental issues, listing environments, challenges in regards to playing, step sizes, pathways, physicality that the students have can broaden their vocabulary for sure. Physical challenges that the students have on the field can definitely broaden their vocabulary as well. Variations, spacing, form responsibilities, and equipment techniques. Obviously, if your students are constantly asked to set up window blocks, you'll get credit for that, but there's a limit to the credit that will come from that if they have also curvilinear responsibilities, maybe other form development, visual phrasing responsibilities that are a little bit broader than just simply setting up a block. There's an opportunity to broaden your vocabulary from that standpoint. Variations in orientations, being not necessarily front center all the time. Sometimes we'll take the bodies to different angles, face backfield, different textures within what the body facings are. Those opportunities within the vocabulary are things that can be explored by you as well. Musical challenges such as tempo and metric variations. Yeah, if your kids are able to pull off 6/8 on the field, we're going to give them, a broader level of vocabulary credit than if they are in 4/4. But again, there's the achievement factor of all of that as well. It's a great opportunity to explore some of those mixed meters, but the cost benefit of that is something to keep analyzing and always evaluating from your standpoint as designers. Expressive and dynamic qualities in the range of these responsibilities. I think about this from the winds, especially when we take them off of just simply traditional marching, when we have them do other types of expressive content, whether they flutter or they have some type of body gesture or shaping to their bodies or something to that effect that enhances what the audio is. That's definitely a creditable aspect of what their vocabulary is. Now, when you move down below to the achievement box, all of that vocabulary that we just discussed, the level that the students can achieve that is what this box specifically relates to. But as we said, the more that you can align the range of vocabulary with what the students can achieve, that is where both of these numbers get maximized to the point that it helps you as a whole. Within the achievement subcaption, we see understanding the principles, movement, control of center, initiation, termination, so step-offs. This is very much the basics that you put them into the basics block to understand. The students can get credit for that aspect of what they're being asked to do. Those basic foundational principles of visual performance that we've taught for years and years and years. The spacing line, bounding line, time, orientation is the second bullet. Again, the more that there are variations within that, orientation, timing, spacing, the more opportunities for credit. But again, fulfillment before your last show is paramount to that. The control of pose and meter variation, you can see how these achievement bullets are relating to the vocabulary range that is explored above. The control of body while playing and manipulating equipment. The ability to move and play difficult musical passages are significant opportunities to increase the achievement level of what your group is. When you're on the field as a judge, that becomes sometimes the most impressive thing that we ever see is the students and their ability to kind of simultaneously be successful with their visual and musical responsibilities is a joy to judge for sure. That's why being on the field is one of my favorite captions. Understanding of dynamic effort qualities, the more range that you explore texture-wise, speed-wise, pacing-wise, body shape-wise, and so on, the expansion of those dynamic efforts is definitely an opportunity for the achievement box to be more successful for you. The equipment articulation through control of pathways and timing, maintaining the integrity of your equipment, not letting the equipment necessarily be a detriment to the students. We start at the very beginning when they're freshmen, just get them to hold the horn up at a certain angle. That obviously expands to utilizing the equipment within gestural or choreographic responsibilities as well. That can be an expanded opportunity for you there. Various characteristics. This to me, the roles or the theatrics that maybe your students are part of in the storytelling aspect of your show, that is creditable from an achievement standpoint on the field if you're asking them to be part of the storytelling, to be part of the dramatics or the theatrics of what the program is, rather than just simply marching dot to dot. There's a broader level of achievement of an opportunity there. And the compatibility, this is the very most important bullet on this entire sheet, I feel, is the last bullet in the achievement box, which is the compatibility between content and training, including the ability to recover. Your students do not have to be perfect. They can't be overwhelmed. They have to be able to fulfill things at a level that, mistakes and deficiencies will happen, but are they strong enough and trained well enough to where they can get back in and things are still readable and understandable, and from an audience standpoint, pleasing to watch. So that compatibility, and if I was going to underline one word on this whole sheet to make sure that you really focused on as you develop your program each year, is that word compatibility. Triple underline, big star next to it, because as your students can do more, but just make sure we're not asking them to do more before they're capable and before it's going to actually, in the end, make their experience more enjoyable as well. Because an overwhelmed student is not a happy student in your program. We want to find that balance within it all. All right. I hope that helps. I hope you guys have a great season. Thank you for being a part of FFCC Outdoor. You can always reach me with any questions, tom@ffcc.org. Thank you very much.